Do you want to take a drug that makes you feel like you can fight God and win? No, I'm not talking about meth. I'm talking about Tren. Side effects may include severe acne, aggression, gynecomastia, hair loss, liver damage, liver cancer, kidney damage, severe mood swings, depression, heart attacks, strokes, high blood pressure, insomnia, infertility, excessive sweating, night sweats, chronic fatigue, blood clots, high cholesterol, migraines, tremors, reduced IQ, memory loss, permanent endocrine system damage, increased risk of infection, loss of appetite, digestive issues, yellowing of skin, bipolar symptoms, psychiatric disorders including psychosis, paranoia, and hallucinations. And this is the top 3 reasons why you should stay the away from steroids, other than the 30 reasons I just listed there. We're gonna dive into the facts and then my own experiences with them that led to my horror stories. So number 1, your life can go to shit. And this is not a joke. Imagine living a life where all of your relationships and thinking patterns start getting affected. And the more you take, the worse it gets. I honestly can't count the amount of long-term relationships that ended with the phrase starting with, I started my cycle. So what people don't really seem to grasp and understand is the fact that your brain is an impossibly delicate balance of hormones and chemical reactions, leading you to a normal thought process and mental stability. So when you start introducing compounds that can create a shift in that very delicate balance, nothing good can happen here. Now, an easy way to see how this will impact you, yourself personally, is going back and thinking about how you were affected by your own puberty. That was the first time that your body was first introduced to an incredible increase in hormones and an increase in testosterone for men because, well, your balls just entered the chat. And according to this medical journal, the increase is an approximate 30-fold of your testosterone production. And when this happens during your puberty, you'll see that people will either start getting very sad and cry easily, and this is what happened to me, or they'll get angry and just act out. Now, imagine this happening again, but with the freedoms of being an adult. And this can lead to paranoia. So if you do have a partner, this can lead to you thinking that they're cheating on you. It can lead to horrible self-confidence, general thoughts of your own underperformance, or just these absolutely horrible, violent thoughts. And the problem here is that we're not always able to control them. And this is a great segue into our number 2 reasons to stay away from them: mental health issues. The main issue that I experienced when I abused them at the age of 17 was the ability to completely hyperfixate on a single problem until it festered. And it would get so bad that I would, in retrospect, make these horrible decisions in attempt to finding the solution to them. When it came to relationships or friendships, that would often lead to some sort of separation or isolation from your own support system. And this is incredibly common. You get so stuck inside of your own head that your problems seem to be so much bigger than they really are. And this is what ultimately led to my own depression. When I mentioned that your brain is a very delicate balance of hormones, I wasn't kidding. Any small changes in these hormonal balance can lead to anxiety disorders due to the cortisol increase, mood swings, or even in some worse cases, long-term psychosis and reduced IQ due to the increased speed of the brain aging. And honestly, I could probably make a 30-minute video on just talking about this one subject, so we're just gonna move on to number 3. Unpredictable side effects. Look, if Mac Miller could get stuff that was laced, who in God do you think you are to think that your stuff is 100% clean? Just because you trust your dealer. I've seen some guys inject and get absolute horrible infections. I've seen some guys get literal muscle necrosis, that is the death of your muscle, where they needed to get surgery and debridement to take out some of that tissue. And one of them had even found out that it was cooking oil in his vial afterwards. So unless your stuff comes direct from a pharmacy, I don't care what you have to say about it. It is impossible that you are 100% confident about what's in your stuff, that it's safe, and if it's contaminated or not. So now let's talk about my own experiences with them. But before we do, if you could just drop any emoji in the comment section, that'd be amazing, just so I know that you're still watching. If you could like and subscribe, obviously even better. But for now, let's talk about my own experiences with PEDs. Like I spoke about in my video, am I natty? Well, the answer is no. When I was only 17, I took what I now know to be Olympiacide cycles. And this was due to my lack of education and information on the subject. And unfortunately, this very much did cause permanent damage to my body. So not only did this actually hurt my liver, and I did actually pee blood a few times from my kidneys taking the blunt of it, my reproduction system actually suffered the worst of it. So due to the influx of exogenous hormones, exogenous means something coming from an outside source, so not naturally produced by your own body, my hypothalamus, which is the part of my brain, stopped telling my testicles to produce testosterone. So then I spent the next 8 years of my life with my testosterone levels in hard decline to the point where my total testosterone levels were in the 70s. And for reference, the average male sits between 250 to 836 nanograms per deciliter. So that is incredibly low and actually sits to about the higher levels of what a natural woman should have. Damn, I should have went for some powerlifting records. And in this case, if you don't use them, you do really lose them. As of today, my testicles actually can't produce testosterone anymore. And this also led me to having to make a video not too long ago about my absent sperm count. And these are just things that me or probably most people just don't really know about because it's not talked about on social media at all. Everybody shows their amazing muscle progression and crazy development, but nobody talks about the fact that they've probably had to spend some time in the hospital for an infection or some sort of organ issues. I think one day I'm just gonna have to make a video on all my horror stories from gear because unfortunately I had a lot in a very short period of time while I was on them. I really want to be able to educate people as much as possible to make educated decisions. And I do mean educated decisions because I know it's impossible to stop everybody from using performance enhancing drugs. But if they know more about it, at least they might actually have the conversation with their doctors, get their blood checked regularly to make a stupid decision slightly less dumb. Or at least see if they're at an incredible risk before doing it in the first place. So if you do want to speak with a team of people who actually know what they're doing and what they're talking about and have dealt with all caliber of athletes at very high levels, such as Olympic athletes all the way to Mr. Olympias, there's going to be a link to Transcend in my bio. Because I always recommend that you do the smart thing the first time around, that you aren't stuck paying for medical bills instead. And that's it for today. I hope everybody has a great day.